more freer, fairer society for everyone. Do you think it's bullshit? You're like, yeah, these are my feelings. Like, communication is key. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's doing well. This week I'm going to talk about the whole notion of playing hard to get. Now basically I did this series on my Instagram every Friday. It's called Bad Feminist Friday. On the Friday just gone I talked about this whole notion of playing hard to get, and I thought I would like to do a whole video on this because I think there's so much more to it. It really needs to be fleshed out. Just for everyone who doesn't see my Instagram, watch my video. If you do want to go onto Instagram though, this is my username. So in the video, I'm going to talk about what are examples of playing hard to get, why it's bad, in my personal opinion, and what we can do to stop it and create a more freer, fairer society for everyone. So let's get started. So first of all, some examples. A lot of these, like I'm straight, so I'm going on kind of like straight relationships, but I'm sure maybe these are kind of tactics used in like all kinds of relationships. I think it's particularly though problematic in, you know, kind of male-female relationships because of that kind of power dynamic. It's more typical in the ways that like we act like, oh, act female, act male, you know, whereas you don't necessarily have that in a lot of same-sex relationships, but you know, take this as you want and kind of apply it as you want as well. Just wanted to put that out there. So examples of playing hard together, like waiting ages to text back or message back, not texting him first. Again, I'm a woman, so I'm coming at this from the female perspective, but again, a lot of this can be both sides. If you're being intimate with them, you know, saying like, no, like don't want to do that sexy bits when you actually do want to, not want to come across as, you know, easy, or just in general kind of acting distant, whether that's physically, emotionally, being mysterious, like whatever that means, and basically just like not acting how you want to act and just not feeling free to be your true self. And the reason I did it for my Bad Feminist Friday was because the whole kind of point of it is that, you know, it's examples of when I've been a bad feminist. I remember doing it as a teenager, you know, I actively employed that tactic to try and get guys, and like I did that because like it worked, you know, like once I kind of like tried it once, I was like, okay, this obviously works. And it did get like guys' attentions, and you know, the times where I maybe had been a bit more where I'd a bit more honest and real about what I was feeling towards someone, they ran for the hills. I learned from a very early age that, you know, playing hard to get was what you did to win over guys. Now in the next part I'm going to talk about like why that's such bullshit and like why it actually might backfire, but there are some studies done that like if you're kind of playing hard to get and you're like, oh no, I have other options, like on a Saturday night, like I don't need you, like it kind of shows that you're confident or that like other people like you. So in terms of like kind of like biology and like mating, you know, eligibility, it shows that other people like you, therefore like this person should like you. So there is kind of a bit of science to it, but overall I just do think it's bullshit. So why is it bad? Oh my god, I mean obviously like as a feminist, like I'm coming at this from like harm being done to women because of this whole kind of notion. Women are the only ones ever really to be told to play hard to get. We're told, you know, make him work for it, don't be easy, and it really perpetuates a lot of the ways that men and women are meant to interact in romantic relationships. It teaches women to say no when we might actually mean yes, like we might actually want to do stuff, but we're like, oh no, I can't come across too easy now, so I have to say no. And that also messes with your head. It's like, why can't I just say how I feel? Like why, you know, like why am I saying something I don't actually mean? And that's really like mentally not okay. And it also teaches men not to trust women's answers. Like if men are, you know, getting used to hearing women say no for the first few minutes or whatever, the first few times, and then they get a yes eventually, men then like learn to think like, oh well, she obviously doesn't mean that, so if she kept saying no but then said yes at the end, well she obviously means yes the whole time, so I need to keep going and I need to be persevering. And it teaches them not to take what we're saying as what we mean. And obviously like a lot of instances we're not saying what we mean, but it really is bad for just both people. Like it's just really convoluted and there's no need for it. And it's really bad in terms of just consent, because like it rewards people who ignore consent. So like if you're consistently saying no and the guy is continually going for it and then he gets a yes at the end, it's actually rewarding him for going against that and for persevering. Like that shouldn't be the case. We shouldn't talk about it in terms of rewards obviously, but like if anyone should be rewarded, it's the person who takes your no and says grand, cool, like not the person who keeps going until they hear what they want to hear, or worse, just doesn't hear yes at all and takes what they want. It's also bad because it's like men shouldn't want the chase so much. Like hearing a no is not sexy. Like it's sexy to hear yes, I want to do this. It's like that shouldn't be a turn on when a woman says no. It shouldn't be an invitation to, you know, keep going. It's also bad because it's just like you then kind of become almost like this trophy, that this thing they want to conquer, and it's like once they win you, they actually might not be interested anymore. So like it could actually backfire if you know, if that's what you're doing to make the guy interested in you. Like once they win you, they actually might not be interested anymore, which like actually defeats the whole purpose. So like it doesn't work for anyone. And it almost feels like using sex as like a weapon, like, you know, like, oh, I'm holding it back to punish you, and then I'm, you know, giving it to you to reward you. And it's just like, it's really, again, problematic to be using sex in that way. It shouldn't be used as like a bartering tool. It should just be, okay, we want to have sex consensually, let's do it. We don't want to have sex, cool, let's not. Like, That's how it should be. So it's really, really bad in terms of like just like sexual violence. Like it's really, really bad. It blurs the waters on consent and how sex should be treated, and it's just really, really dangerous. It might not seem that big of a deal, but that can lead to a really high prevalence of sexual assaults and rapes, and just, again, muddying the waters is really what it does. But like, even aside from that, I mean, it just leads to like shitty relationships. Like, why would you want to be with someone that you can't be yourself with, or that like you feel you need to hold back with? Like, who would want to be in that kind of relationship? I wouldn't. It also shows that you might be afraid of intimacy. Like, who would want to be with someone that's afraid of intimacy? Like, again, no one. Like, you know, it bodes well for everyone if you're just honest with your feelings. And, you know, like, someone might actually not be attracted to you because they think, oh, well, you know, she's distant, she's emotionally unavailable. Like, why do I want to be with someone like that? It can actually, again, backfire completely. It's also just kind of like, you know, you attract what you put out there. So, like, if you're kind of in your head, okay, I'm playing hard to get, I'm going to be distant, I'm going to be emotionally unavailable. Like, you're going to attract someone who's like that. Like, you're going to attract someone who is, you know, as chill about the whole thing, is as casual. And if your actual end game is to get a relationship, you're not going to attract someone who wants a relationship. You're going to attract someone who is also playing hard to get and is also, you know, not up for that commitment. So like, really, again, you have to think about, what do I actually want my end results to be? I think it's also just funny because like, it's like, if some women are, you know, say playing hard to get, and then men think, okay, that's the standard, like women are like that, it then makes the ones who aren't playing hard to get look like psychopaths. So it makes the people who actually are like, yeah, these are my feelings, it makes them feel like they're like insane and like that's like crazy. And it's like, no, that should actually be normal. Like, saying how you feel and saying what you want and what you don't want, like that should be the norm. It's also funny because like, when you're kind of chasing someone, or like they're chasing you, and you're kind of wondering like, oh, when will they text back? Like, oh, and you're kind of always thinking about these weird relationship dynamics. It gives the illusion of like, of chemistry and like, oh, like there's something there, when in fact it may not be there at all. It might just be like all these games are adding up to mean something, I don't know. And then it makes it seem like, you know, when you're actually in a really good relationship where it's easy and there's communication, it makes you think like, oh god, this isn't a real relationship at all, like, because there's no fighting, it's all very easy, there's no chemistry. Like, that should be a real relationship. It shouldn't be a real relationship to be constantly wondering when they're going to text you back, like if they like you. Like, no, I mean, obviously you still wonder that if you're in a relationship with someone you love, but you should know how they feel because they tell you, because communication is key. Men aren't idiots either. Like, if you're playing hard to get, like, some men might like that chase, but some also might not. Like, if a guy thinks that you're purposely not reading his texts for like 2 hours or not replying for 2 hours, like, they may leave. And again, it's just might backfire completely. And also, it's just not nice to play with someone's feelings. If a guy actually does really like you genuinely, and you're like, oh god, no, I can't appear too easy now, or I can't, you know, I have to appear aloof, like, that might mess with their feelings, and that's just sad. And like, you know, vice versa. Like, it's just like, we should all be honest. Like, but if you don't like the person, be honest, and if you do like the person, be honest. And it's just, everyone will be so much happier. So now to talk about, what can we do? Like, where do we go from here? How do we get rid of this? What are we gonna do? So first of all, I want to completely acknowledge that I understand why women do this. Like, none of the things I've mentioned are women's fault at all. Like, purely, that's mostly because I'm coming at it from the female perspective, so I have that perspective, I have those ideas, but also because women are the ones who are told to do this. Women are constantly told to play hard to get, make him work for it, don't appear easy, don't appear available. So I completely get why women do this. Like, none of this is their fault. This is actually society's fault. Women need to be free to be sexual, to be romantic, to be out there with their feelings, and not be punished for it. Like, not to think like, oh, this woman is obsessed with me now because she said yes, you know, on the first date, or she's really easy, or she's a slut, or she's promiscuous. Like, no, we should be free to act however we want to act and not be punished for that. It's even, you know, I also take problem with, like, you know, men having to be the ones to ask to get married, and women just are the ones who like say, yeah, you know, like, why is it such a big deal for a woman to say like, yeah, this is what I want to marry you? Like, no, like, we should, like, both parties, everyone should be free to say how they want to feel, and if the other person doesn't feel that way, absolutely fine. I don't think we should be punished for being forward or for knowing what we want. I think we also need to be secure enough to say goodbye to someone who isn't worth it. If you feel you need to play hard to get for the guy to like you, he's probably not that great. Be secure enough to be on your own if it means not being with someone who isn't worth it. Like, don't just settle for someone who was there, who you had to kind of maybe almost like trick into liking you by playing hard to get. Like, that's not a real relationship. And it's so hard because, like, I'm so insecure, we're all so insecure, we've been told that we're meant to be in relationships. If we tell people, okay, it's okay to be single, you know, it's okay to be on your own, it's okay to wait for the right person to come along, you know, like, just try and be secure enough to be like, actually no, you're not good enough, bye-bye. So I mean, what I'd say to men is just respect women, basically, is my overarching like message to the world. But, you know, like, just if a woman says no, respect that. Even if you think that she's just saying no because she's playing hard to get, she's saying no. And if you then stop, it actually will teach her, okay, he's actually really taking me at my no. Okay, maybe I need to be more honest here. Maybe I need to say exactly how I feel. And then she might say, okay, actually no, I do mean yes. I just, you know, maybe a bit scared to appear like easy or to appear like really eager. Like that's so much nicer when you're both just on the same page about how you feel. Like she can then say yes and he can be like, okay, cool, you know. If it's a good decent guy, he then really knows that she actually wants to do something with him. Imagine thinking that you've like coerced someone into it, or that you've made them say no, and then at the end say yes. Like that's horrific. Like no one would want to be with someone like that. So you know, I say to men, you know, respect when a woman says no, and teach her that she can be as honest as she wants without being punished for being, you know, promiscuous or slutty or anything like that. And also men, yeah, just be honest. Like it takes two to tango. Like everyone, just be honest with what you want and how you feel and what you don't want, what you don't like. If you're honest, it will encourage her to be honest, and will encourage just an honesty ring in the relationship. What I would say to, you know, parents raising, you know, daughters and society is stop telling daughters that they're going to be punished if they're easy. Like stop telling daughters to, you know, make him work for it, or, you know, stop telling sons, you know, like you need to chase the ones now that you really like, you know, a good one won't be easy, a good one you'll have to work for and you'll have to chase. Like no, I mean, it's so dangerous, and there's so much wrong with that. Like just teach them to be, you know, open and honest, and, you know, respect consent, and to look for that consent. Like surely that's a much better way of going about our business. I just think that can only be positives if we teach people to be open and honest, and playing hard to get is just so wrong on so many levels and actually just does not work. You don't end up with the person you want to be. You think there's chemistry and there actually might not be. You might feel pressure to act a certain way because you've acted a certain way the whole time, and then you now have to continue acting that certain way. It's not fulfilling. It's so dangerous in terms of sexual assault and consent. You know, it's just so bad in every single way. So that is this week's video. I just want everyone to be open and honest. Society, like, stop putting these pressures on both men and women to act a certain way in relationships. Like, no. Be free, go conquer, be great people, and I know you all will because you're all phenomenal. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel or like my page or anything, or leave a comment or a thumbs up or the whole works. That would be majorly appreciated. And I will see you all in next week's video. Bye!